3210, here we are. Hi everybody, MJ here. All right, back at the park. Haven't been here for a while. Wow, it's weird. I rebooted and says I got transmission problems already. Who knows? Anyway, got my battery bank hooked up. We're at 30 frames a second, 400 kbps. That is slow. Don't know why it's so slow. Here in the park, we usually have a very high data rate. Anyway, haven't been outside here for a while and haven't been in the park for a while, so I just want to say hello to everyone. And we are broadcasting on 5 platforms using Prism Live Studio. First of all, we're broadcasting on band. Dean, fist bump, hey. Please tell me our transmission is okay. I don't want to have to start again just because of this. Band is a Naver app. It's very limited, but there is a band called the Real Taiwan if you use Line or any, like the Naver products. I'm also broadcasting on Twitch. You see my username there, MJ Klein TW. Broadcasting on Africa TV is MJ Klein. Facebook, MJ Space Klein. Space being the space bar, not that I'm spacey, but probably am. YouTube, the Real Taiwan, and DLive, which is a platform that I supported in the early days, but actually didn't get any traction on. Didn't do anything. DLive is kind of, in my opinion, a Twitch clone, but it's a nice platform, and technologically it's great. The video looks superb. And so I am broadcasting, okay, thank you. I am broadcasting to DLive, and for those of you who use DLive, we can capture, whoops, sorry, I did the wrong thing, hold on. We can capture the DLive chat, which is something that has always been possible. I just don't know. See, it shows that I have a follower, right now I have a viewer on Twitch and a viewer on YouTube. I fully expect that Twitch is just going to be nothing but people saying, hey, you want to get famous? Hot news flash, I'm already famous, just not on live streaming. And buying followers and all that. I always wanted to do that just to see what would happen. They say you can buy 50,000 followers. I always wanted to just do that. I can afford the expenditure just to, and then help bust them. Just because I think I think it's bad overall for the platform. I wonder what would happen if I disconnected from the mobile network just for a moment and then reconnected. I'm going to try that because I got nothing to lose. I got 400 kilobytes a second. That's ridiculous. It should be like 4,000. Hold on, I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to do this. That should. I've disconnected. All right, there's one other thing I'm going to try. One other thing I'm going to try. Hold on. Let's see. Are we still there? I don't know. It says we are. Please let me know if we're still online. Because it said transmission has been aborted, but I still see that I have people connected. What I did was I turned off my VPN. Usually the VPN doesn't have any issues, and I always use the VPN, but I have the VPN. Okay, good, thank you. I have the VPN disconnected. I wonder. I'm really not familiar with what I can do during the live stream. I don't think I can do anything. I don't think I can tap on these and do anything. I don't think there's anything I can do. It's 400 kbps. Okay, supposedly, this is interesting. Supposedly the live stream will survive like a 10-second disconnect. So I'm going to disconnect the mobile data for like 3 seconds and then put it back on. Now it's back. Still 400 kbps. Oh. I don't know why. I'm going to proceed. Usually when I'm out here in the park, I got great connectivity. Now, Dean, I know you a long time ago were a big fan of DLive, and I don't blame you. DLive has great video. It's just a weird platform, and it's hard to find. It's hard, discovery and stuff. And many of us in the old Periscope community are hoping that Elon Musk will bring Periscope back and break it out, but don't see that happening. But if he was interested in making money, I got nothing to lose, I guess, by contacting him. And he is pretty good about talking to people that he doesn't know. Twitter's mishandling of Periscope turned it into a literal wasteland, and now, Twitter's looking to do all kinds of things to raise money. And I got to tell you, I wouldn't pay $8 a month for a blue check mark. I don't give a crap about that, but I would pay $8 a month to be able to broadcast on a standalone mat that was as good as Periscope. So, but I deleted my old Taiwan Live TV Twitter handle. So all those followers I had in Periscope were all gone, but I don't care. Now, this is weird. The studio doesn't seem like it's in landscape mode. It seems like it's in portrait mode, even though I'm in landscape mode. This week, we had an eclipse. I'm in Hsinchu. You see it says Hsinchu, right? And it shows that the moonrise happened, and then immediately after, there was the beginning of the umbral, they call it. It's part of the shadow where it begins, and then it began the totalitarian, not total, the total, I forget the term, I'm tired. Anyway, total eclipse occurred. It shows it at just a few minutes before, maximum, just a few minutes before 7 p.m. Excuse me. And so I had been looking forward to this eclipse for 2 years. I had it literally in my calendar. I had notifications like to notify me like a month before, then a week before, then a day before, then several hours before on the same day, then an hour before on the same day, and they all fired. And so here's what happened. I had my cameras all set up and everything ready to go, and I went outside, and this is what I saw. Cloudy. It was a very cloudy day. It really stunk. And what's worse is, see, the last lunar eclipse that we had a couple years ago, I used my DJI OM4 gimbal and the Mimo app to do a time lapse. This year I was going to use my Insta360 One X2 to do a time lapse. But excuse me, I just said something. It was cloudy. But because the eclipse happened so early in the evening, see, before the last eclipse, it happened like, I don't remember, it started something like 10 o'clock at night or something. Let me show you this. This is my astronomical app overlaid. It shows the horizon. You see the dark mark? And then you see the dotted line? Where the dotted line intersects with that dark horizon, that's where the moon would have risen. And so from the roof of my house, if you look at the dotted line, that's the meridian. That's where the moon would have risen. That's the course that the moon would have taken as it ascended through the sky. And by the time it peaked past, I mean P-E-E-K, not P-E-A-K, it peaked its face, behind that building, it probably would have been very close to being over with. But I do have, I should say, a very high, like a pole. You guys have seen it. I've got I have a stand that's used for photographic lighting, and I can put the Insta360 invisible selfie stick on top of that, and it's a good almost 4 meters high. It's way up there. I just don't know how much at that distance from the roof of my house, looking at the roof of that other building. I just don't know how much perspective would have changed. But hey, so you guys know that I have these crazy LED glasses. I was watching YouTube the other day, and I got a notification. I like science fiction movies. There's a science fiction movie, a trailer called Wife-like, and it's about androids basically taking the role of wives, and companions, which exist now. And there's an interesting scene. I guess the android must be regenerated or something. She's laying down on like a bed, I don't know, and that's still wearing one of these. Not the honeycomb, but the other one that I saw. But that's so funny because this thing cost 139 NT. So right now with the exchange rate, 32 NT is $1 US. So 3, 6, 9, 12, that's 120 NT. So it's like less than $5 for this thing. And they used it in a movie. But the reason they used it in a movie is because it looks pretty cool, actually. But they had it on the white color. So it was just like this, and it was the one without the honeycomb. I like the honeycomb, but then they've got, this, which is, if you're epileptic, I think you might have problems with this. And I like it because it's independent. So I can have red and then red on this side, or I can have, green and red, just go through, right? Yeah. And I can even have I can even go through and say, okay, I like this color. So I'll go through here and, hey, what's up, bro? And I'll keep going until I get another color that I like in this side, There we go, like the flashing or something, so it's pretty cool. There's a bunch of Filipino guys over there, man, having a little beer party tonight and enjoying themselves. Probably have tomorrow off, so hey. Well, this is pitiful because this is one of the least viewed live streams I've ever done. I have 2 viewers, one on Twitch and one on Facebook. I don't think that my that my data rate has anything to do with the fact that I'm streaming to the different platforms, because that's all handled by Prism's own internal server network. And the thing is if I were to RTMP directly to Restream.io and do the same thing, I would just be streaming to that one point. See, I'm not actually streaming to 5 different destinations. I am, however, streaming to Prism Live Studio and RMTP separately, but I don't think that is the issue. But I may try an experiment, so I'll have to set everything to private so you don't see this, but maybe over the next couple of days I might do some experiments and see. But the thing about DLive is I like it. It's great video, it has fantastic resolution, but I never got any traction there, and there's just no point, in my opinion, of doing things. I get more views on Facebook, and I'm not really a big fan of Facebook at all. I got more views on Twitch. I'm not a big fan of Twitch, but I am also on Africa TV. Now, Africa TV doesn't show up here, but if you look at the Africa, that's AFREECA TV. It's a Korean app, and I don't know, but see, I asked the Africa TV people if they had a chat box URL, and they said no. I'll have to confirm this with Jake, who's the Jake Song. I'm familiar with. I've had a good relationship with him, with he and his team for a couple of years. They're the creators of Prism Live Studio, and Jake, he's a member of our he's a member of our live streaming technology line group. But I just don't remember if he said that they capture Africa TV's chat, but I think they do. I seem to recall a couple years ago that I got one comment from a Korean viewer. So, if you are in Korea, I want to say, 안녕하세요. 대단히 고맙습니다. And thank you so much for joining us. And if you want to join us, you can join us. I never introduced myself, but so 나는 MJ입니다. So you can call me MJ. And in Chinese we say 我叫 MJ. So we have an international audience. Меня зовут MJ. If any Russians are listening, so. Anyway, so feel free to drop me some comments. Now, the thing is, I forgot like all my spoken Korean. Gosh, I learned Korean when I was like 19 years old. And I actually stayed with a Korean family for about 3 months. There was at one time in my youth, I recall that I could understand everything that was said to me in spoken Korean, which is pretty amazing. And I realize now, I waited too long to come to Taiwan. If I had come to Taiwan back in those days when I was like 20 years old, I'd be a king here now. I mean, back then, let me tell you a story, because I used to smoke a pipe tobacco. And I found a really cool smoke shop down in Kaohsiung, and I talked to the boss. He's a cool guy. He's about my age and long hair down his back. Not going bald, amazing. Smokes cigars and pipes every day. And he told me that back when he bought his building, now it's like what we call a townhouse, kind of like you guys have probably seen where I live, my live streams with the drone shots, it's a townhouse. The buildings are all connected. They share a common wall, right? Condominiums, I guess what you would say in the States. Multiple floors. So he's got one, it's about 5 floors. His business is on the bottom, his house is on the top. He bought that for $500 US in 1975, and he had to finance it. $500 US was a lot of money in Taiwan. He had to finance that for like 20 years, okay, because he's paying a couple of dollars a month, right? So it's worth over $1 million US now. So when I was a kid, when I was 19 years old, I was working a job. I was making, maybe $200 to $300 a week back then. I realized what I should have done, and let this be a lesson to you young people, because you can still do this, and if you start now, you can still do this in developing places. But I feel confident that if I had really watched my spending, I should have been able to put away 3,000 or 4,000, maybe more US dollars. And if I moved to Taiwan, I could have bought a whole block with cash. And from that point, you start getting rent, and you start getting, payments, and you use the payments to finance, your life. If you pay cash for those things, of course, rich people don't usually do that. Rich people mortgage everything, so they keep their cash free. But so you buy some of it. I mean, with cash, and you buy some of it, with a mortgage, and you keep some liquid cash to do other things. But I realized I should have come here a long time ago and like I said, I'd be a king now. The funny thing is in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I lived back in those days, I knew a guy named Larry. I knew him because I went to school with his sister, Dottie, but his name is Mariani, or Mariani, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And he was studying Chinese, and he went to all the Chinese places that I went to, the Chinese restaurants, and he knew all the people that I knew from Taiwan, and he was a couple years advanced, from me in speaking Chinese and reading Chinese. But I went looking for him one day. I called his mom, and she said, "Oh, Larry's in Taiwan," and I started asking around, and he just this would have been about 1977. And from what I understand is he moved to Taiwan and became Taiwanese, and nobody heard from him again. And I just know that his Chinese name is Ma Ani, and I've never been able to find anybody that knows him. He's not, as far as I know, I've never seen him in the news or anything. He's not a famous person. I've asked many long-termers here in Taiwan, heard of this guy? Nope, nobody's heard of him. So, but maybe, just because, you move someplace doesn't mean you're going to be famous or anything. It's not like that. But I'm just saying, wish I knew what happened to him. He's probably doing pretty well though, because he came here back then. Taiwan's a place where if you work hard, you can reap the reward. I want to welcome everyone who just joined on YouTube. We have more joining on YouTube. For some reason, I have a low data rate tonight, 400 kbps, and I have no idea why. It's bothering me. It's usually up higher. At the Jar Jar store, I've got like 2,500 at least. Anyway. But we had the lunar eclipse, and it was a bust. And I was talking about, this guy that I knew named Larry, and just never know. Who knows? My 50th, gosh, is it 50th? I can't count. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, it'd be 1975. That's my high school graduation. I was supposed to graduate in 74, but I failed the 8th grade because not counting anything above 12th grade, just grade 1 through 12. I went to 11 different schools in 3 different states. I moved every couple of months, every couple of years or months. Sometimes, I remember one time in 1 year, I went to 3 different schools in 2 different states in 1 year. And so everywhere I would go, there'd be like a different requirement. Oh, you mean I got to go back and take another unit of something that I took? I was the only senior that took phys ed. Everybody I know got phys ed out of the way in the 10th grade. Yeah, I'm 12th grade. I go to another school. Oh, I'm missing a credit in phys ed? You got to be kidding me. And because I was older than everybody, I was 19 years old when I graduated high school. So I'm a 19-year-old in phys ed. So do you think anybody messed with me? No. But what I want to do is thank everyone who has recently subscribed. I'm up to, believe it or not, 304, which for me is tremendous because I'm a nobody. And it's amazing. YouTube is just something that it's hit or miss. And people who were like early adopters, that's why the people who were on iOS, it's such an advantage over people who use Android devices on Periscope, because Periscope came out about 4 to 6 months, I don't know exactly, I don't remember, 4 to 6 months earlier. And so by the time I hit, Periscope, somebody's telling me the chat might be off or slow. I'm going to check and make sure that the chat box is on. Chat boxes are definitely on. Okay, so it's probably slow. Sorry about that. I gotta check this, and if this multi-streaming is going to end up being the problem, then I'm not going to do it. But when I arrived on Periscope, I was seeing people that had like 30,000 followers. I'm like, how did this happen? I thought this app was new. It was just new to me. So I found out today. I have a personal YouTube channel. I mean, I have a couple personal ones actually, but I have one. See, you guys know I'm from New Hampshire, and I did a lot of field work. They used to, in the bushwhackers. They used to call me Bushman. That was my nickname, so they call me the New Hampshire Bushman. So the NH Bushman. I've got a blog there, nhbushman.com, and I used NH Bushman, you know, as a YouTube channel, right? So 305, really? Yeah, freaking MJ Klein. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, well, you know what, Ken? Thank you, Ken. That right, being MJ Klein and $1.50 will get me a coffee. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, chat must be slow. And let me see, because I have my. It's great because I have my watch, you know, and no matter what, no matter how slow the chat is, the watch notifications give me really good notification. Now I got that notification from the late night group, so I don't know exactly who sent that, but maybe you did, Ken. I appreciate it. Anyway, so anyway, the NH Bushman, right? That's a YouTube channel where I used to put stuff on my blog, like me chasing my daughter around when she was a baby. I would chase her around. I bought like the Z1, I guess the Xeon Tech C1, I think, gimbal, the first gimbal I ever had. I've had 3. And I would run around the big city mall chasing her, and I had the counterweight on to hold my phone and all that stuff. And I put all that stuff on that channel, and I was flabbergasted. I have a video that has 54,000 views. 54,000 views. I had no idea on that other channel. I don't pay attention to that channel. But it's because, and it's a piece of junk. It's called Giant Thai Catfish. And it's about me in Khon Kaen, Thailand, using my wife's like really, really old small Canon point and shoot, doing like 640 by 480, video at a Thai restaurant. It was in Khon Kaen on this lake, and there's a big jetty that went out and an island at the end, and the restaurant was there, and we were throwing like shells in we were eating crab, and we were throwing the shells of the crab into the catfish, because the catfish will eat that. And it's actually pretty good for them. And so it's Giant Thai Catfish, and the resolution is terrible, and the aspect ratio is 4:3, and it's got 54,000 views. I'm like, gosh. What is going on, So I do, an epic live stream in 2018 with some of the world's most famous live streamers, and I get 250 views, so go figure. But this is 16 years ago. But it proves a point. It proves a point that the early adopters rule, because it builds up over time. I have no doubt that after I die and I'm long off the scene, 50 years from now, these videos are going to have millions of views, because they're going to say, look at that. Look at this microphone he used. Wow. Nowadays they're the size of, they're built in your glasses or whatever. So 50 years from now, none of this is going to be here. Yeah. So anyway. Filipino guys are having a party over there, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I gotta make sure that okay, you can't see him, right? I think he's going over there to relieve the pressure on his bladder. So make sure that you can't see him. That's cool, because that would be pretty weird. Guys ever watch those YouTube videos of photo bombs or things that happen behind people and stuff? So it's pretty funny.
Hey bro, you're doing a vlog.
How you doing, bro? Yeah, I'm doing live stream.
Oh, you're doing a vlog.
Yeah.
Oh. Very good.
We can't see your face, man.
What's up? I am from Philippines, yo.
What part of Philippines?
Philippines, Manila.
Manila, yeah, the capital city.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, are you like from downtown Manila, or are you like from like Makito or some like place like that, or?
I'm from not like Manila, but I'm also from Manila, then Cavite.
Oh yeah, so I heard of that, but I haven't been there. Yeah, I've been all the way up to Giguro and Santo Niño and on those places up in the Cagayan Valley. Beautiful, beautiful place.
Tugigaraw is also a good place, yo.
It is, it's really hot, but the people were super nice. I had a really good time.
All Philippines is very kind.
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that because one thing that I tell people is that my hand never touched the doorknob.
Yes.
Because I try to open the door and somebody always open it for me and say, "Hey, this way," and I'm like, I'm like I'm some rock and roll star or something, a movie star or something. No, I'm just some guy. I'm just some guy, right? But generally speaking, yeah, the Filipino people were really, really nice. I had a good time.
This is kind of hospitality.
Yeah, hospitality, exactly.
Hospitality. The Philippine people is kind of
Yeah, you guys are
hospitality.
known for. Hey, have a seat. Have a seat just for a minute. Can we talk about Philippines just for 5 minutes? Okay.
Yes, okay.
That way you can sit. That way we kind of sort of both be in here.
Today is my birthday.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Today is my birthday.
So how old are you?
34. How about you?
I'm 66.
Oh, you're growing.
I'm old enough to be your dad.
That's not like that, because my dad is like 70.
Ah, so your dad had you kind of like late in life, which is cool though, because see, I'm 66, but I have a 10-year-old.
Oh, 10-year-old child.
Yeah. See, older dads are cool because we know more and we have more stability.
But now, I have my own child.
Yeah, you got your own kid.
Yes.
So that's great.
Three own child, but
You have 3 kids?
3 kids.
Yeah. How old are they?
Younger is 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is 5 years old,
Wow.
and oldest one is
The youngest one.
2 years old.
Youngest one. Now, are they all girls?
No, the older is boy.
Oldest one. Oh, I see.
And the two one is
The other ones are girls. Okay,
girls,
cool.
yeah.
That's great. Congratulations, man. That's excellent. That's excellent. But you must see. I've told my followers know me because I've been in Taiwan for like almost 19 years, and I talked about this before. But many, I mean, a lot of Filipino men come here to work and make money for the family.
Yes.
But it's hard
Yes.
because your family's not here.
Yeah, not here.
And the other thing too is, even if you could bring your family here, the education system is Chinese.
Yes, but it's a difficult thing.
It is a difficult thing.
Yes, because
Yeah.
Taiwan is factory is only 12 years.
Yes. Yes.
And then 12 years. After 12 years, you never come back to Taiwan again.
That's changed. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
And also, migrant workers like yourself now have a pathway to become permanent citizens.
Yes, I
It's
know, but-
changing, yeah.
But we have a pathway. You said a pathway. You have other step.
Yeah, you have requirements. You have to,
Yeah,
you have to
you
meet.
have
Yeah,
requirements.
yeah. Yeah. You speak Chinese?
I take that.
You did, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
You
没问题。当然，我住在很久。So, how long?
so
have
where
you-
you live?
I live in this neighborhood.
Chile? Not bad?
Yeah, I live very close. You know the Jar Jar store. I live very close to that area. So yeah. So what is your name?
Carlo?
Carlo. I'm MJ. Nice to meet you, Carlo.
Yes.
And so let me ask you this. Do you think that Taiwanese people look down on Filipino people?
Maybe no.
No.
because the Taiwan people is very good.
Yeah, they are,
Very
aren't they?
good, like Filipino hospitality.
Yeah. So you,
Yes.
so you agree? See, because the thing is, right? Some people say that, you know, well, for example, let me slow down. When I was in the Philippines, I was with two Filipino men, and one is a good friend of mine from this neighborhood,
Okay.
and he went back to Philippines, and I wanted to try to do some business there, so I want to check with some companies there.
In
And-
Philippines.
yeah, and I said, let me go with you, okay, and I'll check with some of these factories, and then I went with him to his home, and so his cousin drove us around. He's a taxi driver in Manila, so I'm with two Filipino men. So do you know the number one question people would ask me?
What?
Why are you with two Filipino guys? You are white.
Oh, yes.
And I'm
then-
like-
And then?
There was no end then. I'm like, what, so I'm white, or if I'm black, or I'm pink, or it's blue, what difference does it make? And I said, well, this guy here is my good friend. And then this guy here is his cousin, and he's driving me around. So this is my guide, and this is our driver. And they were like, oh, so. But I will say that, like,
So what would you say?
I just said that. I said, this is a friend of mine. I don't care. I don't care where he's from. I don't care about. See, what I teach my daughter is outsides don't matter. Only inside matters, right? And you know, people always talking about race. This is a big issue. Race. There are no races. There's only human. It's just like if you saw a dog, that's one kind of dog, and you see a dog that's another kind of
another
dog.
dog, okay.
They're all dogs. You can't
I
say
know.
they're different races.
Yes, I know.
They're different breeds, but it's impolite to say breed, so we say
Maybe you said-
ethnicity, like an ethnic background. Ethnicity is different. That's it.
Maybe you say you're white and there's you're brown.
Yeah.
Then different state of
Just a different type.
I know.
But there's no different state. Everybody's equal.
Yes, I know.
And it always bothered me, you know, because gosh, I was in Bangkok, you know, in Thailand, and I was walking down the street, and on the sidewalk, and a guy was standing there, and he was kind of like in the middle, so I knew I was gonna have to walk around him.
Okay, I know.
But what he wanted me to do was stop,
Oh.
and you won't believe what he did, Carlo.
I know.
He knelt down on the ground and he grabbed my hand and he's kissing it. Now, he didn't say one word to me, but he's going, America, America. I'm like, what are you doing? It's like, this is crazy.
Maybe she extinguished like your color.
Well, yeah, but it's like, it doesn't, listen, let me, just because my skin is white doesn't mean I'm a good person. Right?
Because she sees your color is white. Oh.
But it doesn't mean I'm a good person. I could have took a knife out and stabbed this guy. I could have robbed him, right? It doesn't matter. You can't judge somebody by the outside.
Maybe not, but the other people is be extinguished. It's a different color. She's white. Because the Asian is, you look different.
Yeah. Well, you know, now it's the fall, but in the summertime I'm dark too because I go in the sun. 'Cause I love the sun too. Exactly.
Maybe summertime is you're dark too, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
exactly.
completely you're dark.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely right. And gosh, it's just I don't know. It's crazy. So I teach my daughter, you know, to be very careful about what you say about other people
Yes.
and how you view them, because you know who's the only person that can read the heart?
It's your family.
No.
God.
Correct.
Yes.
And nobody here on earth can read a person's heart. So you can't look at somebody and tell anything. It's about their actions. But to just go up, I mean, I appreciate that he kissed my hand and welcomed me to to Thailand, but it was about being, white. And of course, everybody thinks I'm rich because I'm white.
Yeah, maybe that's one.
Yeah, well,
maybe that's one.
I'm rich because I worked my butt off. I made money
Maybe.
because I worked hard. But there were times when I had no money and I ate popcorn for dinner every night.
Maybe she thinks that is white, but you're too high.
Yeah, but I didn't do it.
That's,
So yeah.
That's like statue.
Yeah. I know you're saying. I know what you mean. Like when you have the base and you put the statue on top. We use it.
Yes,
This means a pedestal. So you put But I didn't put myself on this pedestal. But I was more than happy to interact. And you know what? We went to this restaurant, the Aloha,
Aloha.
in Manila.
Aloha.
Yeah.
We're in Manila.
Gosh, this is 2011. I don't remember exactly, but it was a nice hotel, right?
Very long time ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah. And so there are two girls that work there.
I've been in Philippines maybe 2018.
So last time you were home was 2018. Yeah, so it's been a couple of years. Yeah.
This pandemic.
Yeah, that's right. You can't travel around.
You have a long time you can go.
You're safer here, though. Taiwan really protected us. Because now, oh, by the way, when he says "dui," it means right. That's Chinese for right. So we often here in Taiwan, we always mix up the languages. Pretty interesting. It's because Taiwan protected us until Omicron, and now Omicron doesn't matter. Everybody gets Omicron, then
There's a lot of CCTV in here.
Yeah. So
if you have doing a crime, maybe you should extinguish the Taiwan government very quickly.
yes.
Because the CCTV is so many.
I'm gonna stick my mic down here just to make it easier. But
What is called that?
that's the microphone.
Oh, okay.
I want to move this back a little bit. So I'm sorry if I missed any comments. 'Cause I've been talking with my friend Carlo here. He's a Filipino gentleman, works here in the factories that we have. And I'm going to do one thing real quick. I have a control on here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the level up a little bit more.
So this is a
Hello, 1 2. Okay. Yeah,
Taiwan
there we go.
vlog, ma?
I'm actually broadcasting on 5 different platforms: YouTube, Facebook, D Live, Band, and
So you're doing it
Forgot the other one,
every
sorry.
day, no?
no, nothing like that.
Not every day.
No, just maybe once a week or twice a week, usually. Yeah, because I've been in Taiwan for a long time,
Okay.
and I like to talk about Taiwan things, and this is involved, with Taiwan things. Now, I want to apologize if
What is your blog doing for?
fun.
For fun?
Yeah. I want to apologize if I missed any comments, okay? So if I missed some comments, please repeat them. I've been concentrating on talking with Carlo.
So we need the.
and I just want to say if
So we need the
please
face
repeat it.
mask? No,
What?
face mask.
No, it's okay.
Wow. Okay.
I got my mask over here because I'm going to go home later. But in Taiwan, you guys are drinking. You're allowed to
So-
drink, allowed to eat without face mask is okay. But no, you don't need a face mask. I had COVID already in
Before.
June.
Before.
In June.
Before.
Well, yeah, June is before. Yeah, in June. Yeah, I had it.
okay,
And so my family had it, so it's over for us. I'm not worried about it. And I think now it's going to be endemic. I think you just can't.
So you're doing a blog for only Taiwan or another country?
Okay, this is not a blog. It's a live stream.
Oh,
It's Kaizubo. Okay, it's a live stream. This is live. This is not a recording.
okay.
So people can make. If you guys can just go ahead and make a comment if you want to. See, I found that my followers, they listen a lot and they only will ask some questions.
How many are watching?
Well, not that many because I'm having transmission problems right now. I'm only at 400 kbps, but I got this shows I got just only 2, but it may be wrong. On YouTube, 1 on Twitch, 1 on Facebook, 2 on D Live. So, but I can get comments from all of those. But what will happen is over the next week, then the people watch the replays
Okay.
because it's not always a convenient time to watch the live because right now it's like, afternoon in
so
USA.
so late in the evening
It's late even here.
in Taiwan, but in America, it's
People are at work.
Maybe afternoon.
And they also had this big election, and everybody's doing all this stuff. So the whole point is that over the next couple of days, it'll the views will grow. But what I wanted to talk about was because I'd asked you, do you think people look down in Taiwan on Filipino people? But you said something about Taiwan people. I think Taiwan people are great.
Yes. No.
And have Taiwan people helped you? Have you been in a situation where somebody stopped to help you or ask you, do you have any trouble or anything like that?
Maybe not, because Taiwan people is very good.
Yeah, I found that sometimes if it looks like I'm confused or I don't
Why?
understand something,
Why?
what I'm saying is if I look like you look me and maybe I'm confused or some Taiwan person will ask me, can I help you?
You confused because of what?
Anything. My meaning is if I look like I'm confused, I don't understand something, some Taiwan person will say, can I help you? Like this. So they're pretty good about that. And the other thing I like about Taiwan people is that they don't want my money.
Yes.
They got their money, own money.
And maybe she's a very good person.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
if you have lost something, she don't care.
Yes, because it happens all the time where
Wow.
people drop their money or their wallet
Then she
and it
maybe
goes to the police station.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And people come back and they find their wallet and it
Ah.
has everything inside and nothing's taken. Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. Because I remember
yeah.
one time I had some problems and I left my bicycle at the 7-Eleven
Because maybe
for 2 days.
maybe Taiwan people have like a discipline.
Well, they are disciplined.
Yeah.
They
They are
are.
all disciplined. It's on a child. Then you grow up.
Yes.
You have a discipline.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But I left my bicycle 7-Eleven for 2 days. Nobody touched
So
it.
you live from?
Hmm?
You are live from?
I'm sorry.
You are living now from what? Today you're going back to.
I'm going home later. Is that
Yes,
what you mean?
I know. I know.
Yes?
You're going home later. In what place?
You want me to tell you where I live?
Yes, you.
No, I'm not telling you where I live. I don't tell anybody where I live. I told you I live in this neighborhood. I'm gonna live stream. I'm gonna tell everybody my address. No,
Oh, I know. I know.
I told you. You know where Jar Jar is. I live in this neighborhood, but I have been in this neighborhood for 16 years.
Okay.
So all the boss
So you
ladies and
live
all the people,
from-
they all know me.
Somewhere there.
Yeah,
Okay.
close by. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And because I rode my bike, so I didn't.
You
don't need
can
my car.
come along with anywhere.
Exactly. I don't use the electric scooter, electric bike,
So
because I like to exercise.
you came from USA, or originally your came from what country?
From USA. You guys
USA.
asked me over there. Maybe you didn't hear it, but I said that.
USA.
Yeah, I used to live in the northeast of USA, which is the Boston area in New
Boston.
Hampshire.
Okay.
I used to live in New Hampshire. Yeah, so yeah, that was cool.
So you have a child.
Yep, I have a daughter. She's 10 years old. A little girl. Yep, and my followers know her because they've seen her. I did some videos with her before. Yeah. So she speaks English, Chinese, she's learning Taiwanese, and she learned some Japanese from TV. So yeah, that's always a bonus.
Okay, we
gotta
need
go?
to go. We gotta go. Okay.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very
Okay.
much. I
Your-
appreciate it.
What's your name, bro?
MJ.
MJ.
Yeah, like MJ.
J.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
exactly. So you take care. Thanks for taking a few minutes,
Okay.
and talking with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for live streaming.
Yeah. See you around, all right?
Okay.
You take care. Have a good night. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, now I know the mic level is up pretty high, so hang on a second. I'm just going to leave it like this. I think that was okay. You guys can hear, right? I hope so. Anyway, that was kind of unexpected, but that's good. You'll notice he had a little bit of an issue sometimes understanding what I was saying in English, which is not unusual because in the Philippines, English is not a first language; it's a second language. The first language being Tagalog, and I actually have met some Filipino guys that really couldn't speak English at all, but most guys can. But it's not unusual that they're not super fluent in English. But that's okay. Because he misunderstood what I said about when I was saying if I look like I'm confused or I have a some kind of an issue that Taiwanese people will usually ask me, can I something I can do to help you? So, but there you go. So that was cool. So he's a young guy. He's got 3 kids and he's working hard. And it's hard to find work in the Philippines. I know so many people that I know there's nothing going on, especially in the villages. And my friend Sonny's from a village in Santo Niño, and he showed me some pictures because whenever they have a bad typhoon, the river floods and it wipes out the crop of corn. They have a beautiful stand of corn. When I was there in 2011, that's some of the finest corn I've ever seen in my life. Took lots of pictures. It's on my blog. And the corn is on a plain, from the river comes up and it's on a flat plain. And then there's like a plateau where his house is on. And the last devastating typhoon they had, typhoons is just a hurricane. The water actually went up on the plateau onto where his land is. And he has a piggery. And the piggery has feces, of course, and waste material from the pigs, and the floodwaters washed all of that nasty water and polluted the wells. So it took over a year for the well to purify itself. So it was pretty bad. They just had some bad problems. So, and the bridge that the government built, the first typhoon they had, the bridge washed out. And so the local people made a ferry out of 3 boat hulls, and they nailed them together with boards across the top. And I saw them drive a jeepney. They put a V8 engine on a gimbal with like a longtail, kind of like a longtail boat, so there's a big handle on it with a throttle on the V8 engine and a shaft at the back and a propeller welded on it. And that's what they use to navigate across the river. And that river is 60 meters deep. It's a huge river and a huge volume of water. So when it floods, it wipes everything out. And Sonny was my friend's name. We were walking around in the flat plain, which is where the stand of corn was, and he was showing me signs of previous flooding, and there's a toilet sitting there. So the river had taken a toilet from somebody's house somewhere and just thrown it up on the banks. That's how powerful it was. So it was amazing. So thanks, Dean. I appreciate it. I apologize if I missed any questions. I can go back and let me just show the chat view for a second and see at least. But okay, so yeah, Ken Rod said, great interview. I appreciate that. I missed that. Okay, and so, yep. There you go. And I have no way of knowing if anybody... We do have comments from DLive. And I notice I actually have 2 viewers on DLive, so you're welcome to make a comment. I have the DLive chat box set up on the top, and everybody else is at the bottom. And the DLive comments will come down from the top, and they'll be on this side, and they'll fade out. I'm going to put my mic back on the collar, and I'm going to stand it for a second, and I'm going to readjust this. Because I don't want it to be too loud. So at least it sounds to me like you guys at least could hear what we were talking about. So that was cool. I like that though. I like the spontaneity. And I guess he figured I was doing a recording for a blog, but it was hard for me to get him to understand it was a live stream. I guess a lot of people are not always so familiar with live streams. I don't know why, but it's just the way it is sometimes. And anyway, so. Usually when people are doing these vlogs, they're not sitting here talking. They're walking around different places, you know. But anyway. Yeah, it's a different age, man. It's kind of over for me. I'm an older guy, but if YouTube was around 20 years ago, you know, when I started this whole thing and started traveling to Asia and going around and been all these places, man, I'd be a huge YouTube star. But hey, in the end, what does it get you? Nothing really. It's not what I call big money. But I do it for fun. Some of the stars tonight, I see what I believe is Saturn. And I know I said it was a big moon night tonight, but let me just show you this. The moon is almost like, see if I can get it. It's almost straight up. Look at that. And it is a waxing gibbous. So it's it's one night after a full moon. And we had 2 full moons in a row that were over 99%. They're really something. And they say that's got to be Jupiter up there, but I might be wrong. It's hard for me to tell in Taiwan because the seeing is not so good. I see a couple of large, bright stars or planets, and it's hard to place them because I can't see the other constellations. I don't know where they're really exactly where they're at. But on a clear night, you know, I have seen the Galilean moons of Jupiter. I've seen, of course, Saturn's ring, stuff like that. But you never would see with a common, ordinary telescope that an ordinary person could afford. You'd never see Uranus. You never see Neptune. No way. Forget it. Way too far. But when I was a kid, though, I got to tell you, because my father bought me a telescope when I was 12. I think I told you guys this story. My father's a Honeywell engineer, and Honeywell had a corporate kind of dealership, some kind of corporate cooperation with Pentax, Asahi Pentax from Japan. So all my father's friends had Pentax cameras, you know, single lens reflex film cameras, and they're all fantastic. But my father got a Pentax telescope, and it was 800 millimeters photo length by 60 millimeters diameter, and it had a right angle eyepiece for astronomical viewing, and it had a dual prism extender for terrestrial that would make the focal length longer. Because if you just took the tube and you put an eyepiece in the tube, it wasn't long enough to focus, and so the right angle gave it the proper focal length. But you couldn't put the eyepiece straight in the tube if you want to look at terrestrial viewing. So it had a thing that kind of went like a zigzag using 2 prisms, and it was a really, really nice telescope. And I don't even want to tell you the story about why I don't have it anymore, but I had it up until the point I left the United States. Because if I talk about it, I'll get so mad, I'll probably knock the phone off the stand. The point being, though, that I remember I used to do so much observation, and I got so good. It's all manual control, no computer control back then. I mean, unless you were an observatory or super rich, but I actually saw with one of the wider angle eyepieces a satellite. I tracked it. It was amazing because I saw it, and I just went for it. So that was like really cool. Very odd shape, solar panels on this stuff. Pretty cool. So when we were doing Periscope back in the day, I did a couple of rooftop live streams where I showed things like the International Space Station, which with a mobile phone is a dot. Okay, so it's like, okay, there's the International Space Station. You know, there it is. Okay, guys, it's a dot. That's what it looks like. You know, that's a big dot. But if you see like any of the other stars or anything around there, that's what it looks like. See, like that one there? I mean, that's not even a star. It's just, you can't resolve it. But I thought it would be interesting for people to see it because I did a couple of live streams where it was kind of low in the sky and you could see the buildings and you would see the thing moving relative to the buildings. And then some genius on Periscope, and there's a lot of them on Periscope. There's a lot of geniuses on Periscope. Every broadcast I met at least 5 or 6. He said, you need a telescope. Does anybody have any idea what the cost for a telescope would be that could track the International Space Station and make it large enough to resolve it? The International Space Station is 100 meters wide. Okay, it's like a football field, a little more. And it is in low Earth orbit. It looks like a dot with your eyes. It looks like a dot with binoculars. And you see people who take pictures of it with telescopes and it still looks like it's this big. But that's not the hard part. It's the tracking. It turns out that if you wanted to show, and with Periscope it was ridiculous because there wasn't any way at the time that you could, you know, like USB connect, you know, to the phone and get like the video, or to use like you know, a camera on the telescope. All right, so you would so here's the thing, you'd have to buy this expensive telescope with a computerized mount, and then you're going to mount your mobile phone on it with a holder. It's like, okay, so I'm going to do all this stuff just so I can show you the ISS in 520p. Does that make a lot of sense? It's about $4,500. It's about $4,500 US. If you want to get a GPS telescope with a high enough magnification at a wide enough field, because here's the thing, I mean, if you've got a small telescope and you can get the magnification, the field's this big, and try to find the ISS is crazy. What you want is big magnification at a wide field. That's money, it's big money. And so you need a GPS aware motorized mount, and it just would have been absolutely ridiculous. But if you use an astronomical camera, it's feasible. But I'm not going to spend $4,500 US just to hold, you know, the camera on my mobile phone up to the eyepiece. It just doesn't make any sense. Does it? Now this week, my family and I, we went to the new mall, and my daughter got this drink, and it's a really interesting drink. It had honey in the bottom of it, and I'm not even sure what was in it, but it had sparkles. And I love the color, it's pink. And I just asked her, was it good? And she said, yes, it was. But we introduced her to another dish, and this is soft-shelled crab. And this is Thai style. Now, of course, I've had this in a number of different countries, and I've had it in Taiwan. And that is a yellow curry sauce. And the bread pieces are just to help you, you know, pick it up, because in Thailand they often eat with their fingers. So if you wanted to, you could take a piece of bread and you could just grab some of that. I didn't eat any of the bread because I don't need the carbs. But one of the other things they had, which is a really, really nice dish, this was an egg dish. It's like an egg casserole. Look at that. And that Thai sauce is just amazing. Let me just move this up a little bit. That Thai sauce is amazing. There's a green sauce and a red sauce, and they're different types of hot peppers, and man, oh man, they were fabulous. So that's some of the food that we had this week, and this is one of the Thai dishes I had last week, and I was talking about those, you know, the LED glasses, right, and how I saw this trailer for a Hollywood movie, you know, that had the LED glasses on, right? And so I've got the honeycomb ones because I think the honeycomb ones look better. But this I had another pair, and these are like the ones that they used in the movie, okay? And the ones in the movie showed the like the robot wearing them, right? But there's some kind of like nomenclature on them or something like that. And one of them that I saw, there's four different types, and one of them that I saw said something like had like I don't know, spacecraft or something nomenclature on it. And long story short, this is the boss of this restaurant, and he asked me. I said, I'll sell these to you because he wanted them. He said, how much? I said, because I got this pair and that pair. He said, how much? And I said, 300 NT. And he's like, 300 NT, which is, you know, like $9. And I said, well, don't give me cash. Just, you know, treat me to dinner. Just 请我吃饭喝酒 or 喝了. So like, you know, which means just, you know, pay for my food. And my son says, okay. So I ate like 3 or 4 times the value of that. So anyway, I got to go, you guys. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining. I'm not sure why I have such a low frame rate. I'm going to experiment with this and see if it is in fact the multi-stream. I'm going to have to cut it back just to Facebook and YouTube, but I do like DLive, and I might try to keep DLive. But Africa TV is also a nice platform. But if it's all sucking it down, I got to talk with Jake, who's the leader of the Prism Live Studio development team. We've got to see what's going on, and you know, why I might have a slow frame rate or slow data rate because of that. But you guys take care, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining, and I appreciate you all supporting and watching The Real Taiwan. Thank you, and bye-bye.